KZ Guy 2 here, No Nonsense Know How. Today doing a little follow-up video, and I just kind of want to ventilate and blabber on here about my deck. Now, you might remember me from a year ago. I did a video about these deck posts rotting out in the ground. I'm very happy with the outcome, of replacing them. We'll go over that in a second here and what I ended up doing. But, this deck, my foot went through it the other day and I had a few rotted boards. So, I don't know, somebody once commented in there in that last video, why don't you just rip the whole thing down and rebuild it, make a new one? The answer to that is I'm not that great at creating things from nothing. I'm better at, I take things apart and I put them back together, right? But I'm kind of regretting that decision now, because let me show you some things on this deck. Now, the posts that were in the concrete rotting away, that was just kind of pissing me off, and the spacing was off. So, these footers actually go down 36 inches. They mushroom out on the bottom. I got rebar in there, and I'm very happy with the outcome. I repositioned them too. This one down here, moved it further out so it matches the other side. It used to be over there. These are 12-inch sono tubes, and, I just used some structural screws in them and then a bunch of nails. And, you get a nice, pretty clean look. So now when it snows, you might be asking, why do they bring them up so high? Well, A, I like the look. And when it snows, you won't have the wood sitting down in the snow. So I think it looks heavy duty. I like that commercial tough look. And of course, they're just like, sistered up on these 6x6's. So I was able to reuse those, just cut them down. But, then my foot went through the deck. And then, come on, we can't have that. So I said, I'm replacing the decking. Here's all the decking I just took off right now. You can see some of the boards are just rotted out. I don't know, it's like mold up on these. I've always stained it once a year with TWP 100, but, pressure treated is garbage for horizontal surfaces, vertical surfaces, and if it's covered, maybe so. But let's go look at these joists now. So Elm ended up with this. I was saying, all right, maybe I'm going to put Trex over this thing. But, I got joists that are pretty crooked. And I've also got joists that are rotting out over here. So like this one right here. And there's a few spots like this. You take a screwdriver and, it's soft. It's garbage. It's got to be replaced. This is trash. You can see these are left over from where my foot actually went through the deck, mostly purposely, but there was quite a few rotted out spots. So I said, bare minimum, I'm taking all the decking off and plan on restaining this, replacing, really only two of the joists have to be replaced. And we can see the guy who built this did do a pretty good job. He has this, drip lip here and the, what's it called, ledger board bolted to the house. So it's all pretty good. I think it's rebuildable, but I think I'm at the point where maybe I should just rip this thing down and make a patio down here. But again, I'm just kind of venting my thoughts right now. I really want to do a roof over this is what I'd like to do. I just feel like I'm a little over my head because I don't have a lot of construction experience. There's no overhang on the house. When I come in and during the rain, it's, it sucks, quite frankly. And I get a lot of sun during the day here. So if I could get a cover over that, that would be great. Any of you guys have some input on what you would think? I could do a ledger board across the top, but then I got to mess with the vinyl siding and it's also going to be kind of low. You're not going to be able to get much roof pitch. So I had this aluminum roof laying around. It's actually 10 by the way, this deck is 10 by 20. So, I had this aluminum roof and I was thinking about just putting that on there. By the way, I ripped all this rope out of here because it's, check out my other video on deck rope, but that stuff was just rotting apart and all the plastic particles were going all down in my vegetable garden over here. Every time I shower, I can see the stuff just rotting apart. And, I like to be able to shower and just, pull veggies off as I'm showering. Oh, it's delicious. Nice and hot from the sun today. Now, most people will come up with a plan and then take things apart. No, not me, not this guy. I like to just rip things apart. I'll throw some plywood over top here so I don't kill myself tomorrow morning walking out, forgetting that I don't have a deck anymore. But I like to rip things apart and then figure it out from there. If you have a good idea of how I could, put a roof on this, that's the only way I'm going to end up using pressure treated again for the horizontal surfaces. So it's covered from the elements because, it just can't take it on. Yeah, sure, use it on vertical surfaces like down here, it can take it, but the joists are rotten, and I don't want to deal with staining this thing every freaking year. Yeah, and you can put Trex on there, but A, I don't like the plastic. And B, when you stand on that in the sun, it's extremely hot. And I'm not gonna lie, one of the reasons I want to keep this deck is because I kind of like built my shower into the deck, which whatever is a little stupid, but tune back in if you want to see the progress later. So without further ado, give this video a thumbs up if it helped you. Give it a thumbs down if you didn't want to see me in the shower. Until next time, this is KZ Guy 2. No nonsense, no how, but sometimes a little nonsense in there. And I'll see you next time.